I was talking with a friend about a concept that I was handling. It was called urban shaman. This is a person who walks in the cities and talks about the cities and tries to elevate the vibration of the cities. And I think it beautifully describes a significant part of what I do and how I live. That's how I experience my city. And that's how I experience my life here in Venezuela. It's really good to have this connection, these ancestral or natural energies. They're very connected with the animals and and nature and spirits, but also connected to technology and to physical structures and buildings. Most of us live in this artificial world, even in sparsely urbanized centers. Exploring the world this way is very useful to us because it improves our connection to our home at a structural level, even architectural level. For instance, my city, Caracas, is very, very chaotic. It's developed very rapidly. Stark social differences became very pronounced. And then we have a lot of slums. Venezuela, I think, has the biggest slum in Latin America. It's called Petare. We are very close from there. It's really big. It's been a source of many pains for the city in general. And it's mostly populated by descendants of Colombians.
When did the development start, though?
Around the 70s, there was a boom, an oil boom, and the country benefited greatly from it. And there was a lot of infrastructure, but there was a lot of money in the streets as well, and a lot of people who needed homes. The government was unable to provide for them, so they started building themselves in parcels which didn't belong to them at all. Eventually, it became so big. I was involved in a project documenting some particular figures in the city. There was a point in which we interviewed an architect. He had a theory of how to deal with slums, architecturally speaking, healing the slums by integrating them. And it was really beautiful. It was based on the idea that the slums were an anomaly, similar to a disease in a physical body, but from an urban perspective. Like, this is a problem of public policies, of infrastructure, government competence. It's a problem that you can identify as a biological issue because this is humans who are living in this condition. And these are very dangerous conditions, unsanitary conditions. I used to live in a slum myself. It's really difficult to live there because there's no running water, no electricity, no telephone lines. People don't have internet access. There are a lot of people who live in these places who have never, ever seen the sea. And Caracas is right by the sea. They've never left their slums.
Why, though?
And it's an issue with fear, I think, who aren't actually under the authority of the state. They are in no one's land except these guys who control the place. At some point, Chavismo here, the regime who is still technically in control of Venezuela, they created a concept called zonas de paz, peace zones. The idea was that you give these people autonomy, and then you can create some sort of dynamic where it's easier to control crime. What they did was empower gang lords who had a military-grade armament. They are in control of prisons, and they are in control of many slums. A whole level of human rights violations there. And there was like a ring of fire. These are huge slums which are next to one another. All of that used to be very dangerous. I don't know how it is right now. And I don't feel as unsafe there as I used to. There are still criminal gangs there. Autonomy, which is actually crime control. The criminals are in control of everything. And there are places in the city as well, which used to be a very dangerous slum. Shootings every day. There were mothers who lost a son every week, so 3 sons in a row. They figured out how to work that out. They dismantled gangs in their area, the women, and they completely disarmed their area. Now they rule that area. It's a very powerful project. The church was involved, and it was beautiful. So there are ideas to promote that in slums everywhere, to dismantle crime. Urban shaman, it's this connection with these things, with this phenomenon that I think happen all the time. It's a very powerful experience to promote this connection with the spirit of the city, the places that we inhabit, that we feel with our emotions as well, because we imbue our emotions in these places. We create them all the time. We wake up in the same room and not the same room at the same time, because we are different. The same with the cities. And I've had a very profound experience with Caracas specifically, and with Venezuela in general. It's revealed to me a lot of information about this relationship with the cities, but also this relationship with ourselves, because we are a city, or we are a constitution of cities, which we call all organs. This constitution is our physical body. If we have a better connection with physical entities, we have a better connection with our bodies as well. I've talked about this before with you, these nodes of energy, like these places where energy is stored and energy is connected. I know that these places that we call chakras, or these organs, these areas of flow, are like these nodes of energy. And they store energy, they process energy, and they emanate energy as well. They are creative in their own form, and they transform all the time, because we are transforming all the time. So if we have access to these nodes of energy, kind of monuments or pillars, which are principles of our constitution, our physical constitution, and are also principles of the world's constitution, the physical universe's constitution. As above, so below. So if we understand our bodies, we understand the physical reality we inhabit. And if we understand the physical reality, we understand our bodies better. And we understand, therefore, our spirits and our emotions and our minds better. And I found that it's true. I live that way. Urban shaman has a very nice ring to it.
What you're saying about the chakras of the city or something like that, it's like the city is a reflection of the individual, and the individual is a reflection of the city too. I felt that a lot when I was traveling. So I would stay somewhere for 6 months, and then I'd get up and go somewhere, and I'd spend 2 months in another city, near the ocean, or somewhere deep in the mountains. When I came back, it was just like I felt like a totally different person with different energy, and I was kind of sharing that information from somewhere else, even if I didn't talk about the place. And even when I came back to Japan, oh man, I felt like I downloaded all this stuff that wasn't here, and I was able to spread it to people here a little bit. Even now I feel it. The energy that I kind of give off in Tokyo is not Tokyo at all. It might confuse some people, but I think it mostly makes them curious and just slightly confused maybe. But I noticed like a lot of the social rules, I mean, foreigners in general don't have to follow them. But I try to. But actually, nobody expects me to, not just because I'm a foreigner. Even like the rules for foreigners, like they don't apply to me, because whatever energy I'm giving off, it's not the same. And so
it's not the same.
Yeah, because I'm carrying that old energy from the seaside, and from just jamming in friends' houses and stuff. And now, even though I live in this place with people working really hard and wearing suits and very straight faces all the time, it's not what I'm experiencing at all. I feel like the people around me pick up on that. Sometimes they kind of absorb it a little bit, and I notice it in them a little bit. And I notice, the same thing happens with friends too when they go travel. I can pick up some of that energy.